Hello Fude friends, today I'll be sharing my top 5 picks for Sonia G face brushes. I will also be making this same type of video for the Sonia G eye brushes, and once I have that up, I will link it below in the description box. I wanted to make this video ahead of the Beautylish gift card event sale, which is the only time you can purchase Sonia G brushes at a slight discount. So I hope this video is helpful to some of you that have considered Sonia G brushes before and are interested in the sale. I want to note that it was very difficult to narrow it down to 5. You will not go wrong with any of your purchases, as all of these brushes are very well made and functional. It just comes down to which are best suited to your personal needs. Please also keep in mind that it's difficult to recommend brushes to others without knowing their skin types, makeup routines, and preferences. I simply picked these brushes that you see here because they are a combination of my most reached for brushes I would replace first if I happen to lose them, brushes I know I can trust with different tasks, and brushes that completely changed my makeup application for the better. Let's start with the first brush, which is the smaller fan brush called the Sculpt 3. This is a small fan brush with dyed Chikuhodo goat hair. It's very soft and I think appropriate even for sensitive skin types. It retails for $32, which is the least expensive face brush that you can get from Sonia G. I think the price point makes it very suitable and appealing for people that have been interested in trying her brand. And while it's very soft and airy, the bristles are bundled in a way that makes the brush very dense and able to pick up pigment and place it in a very targeted way. So this brush completely changed how I apply highlighter. It picks up and deposits the perfect amount of pigment. Prior to this brush, I never liked fan brushes. I never felt they applied highlighter well. They would simply deposit powder and shiny sparkles all over my face in a flimsy way. And this brush changed that for me. This brush will give you a very subtle yet targeted highlighter application, and I like it so much that this is my most used brush for highlighter and the only one I would purchase if I could only have one designated highlighter brush. Staying in the theme of fan brushes, my second brush pick is the Sculpt One. This is a large fan brush with undyed goat hair. The goat hair is different. This is Hakuhodo goat hair, and I'm very sorry if I mispronounced that. But the point is that this goat hair is more coarse and dense. However, I don't think you're sacrificing on softness, and I still believe this brush would work for sensitive skin types. It is very densely bundled, very dense, and it really blossoms after washing and the more you use it. This one is intended for sculpting and contouring, and it's on this list because it's one of my all-time favorite bronzer brushes and the #1 brush I would replace if I lost all of my Sonia G brushes. I love this brush so much because it's very unique and luxurious. It's very pleasant to hold and use. So the handle is thicker than the ones in the Pro series. It has a very nice weight to it, and it's very user-friendly to hold and use. And it's also unique because of the way that the bristles are bundled. I do have other fan brushes. This is large fan brushes for that matter. This is the Hakuhodo F1340. This is the Hakuhodo F1440, which have longer bristles, and they're also less densely packed. As you will see, it's also a completely different hair material, so this is not an apples to apples comparison, but the point is this brush is so unique in the way that it's a very dense brush for being a fan brush. And so this brush for me has no comparison in terms of being a beautiful piece of art that is also very functional. The next brush is the Designer Pro. I'm not going to go into too much details on this brush because I have a full dedicated video on it, so if you're interested in watching, getting more details on that, feel free to check that video out, which I'll link below as well. But this brush made this list because it's a very user-friendly, easy to use, multi-purpose cheek brush that I believe everyone could benefit and enjoy having in their collection. This will be a reliable, heavily used brush in anyone's makeup routine. Now the next two brushes are currently not available individually, but I didn't want my top picks to be limited to what is available now, since these are my all-time favorite Sonia G brushes, and I expect these brushes will eventually come back in stock. So the next brush is this Inochige Pro, and this is a brush that was inspired by the art of calligraphy. It is a medium-sized brush with a round ferrule that tapers to a gentle point starting halfway up the brush. So at around the halfway point, the bristles start to taper up to this very gentle point, and I think this is a unique shape. The only brush that it reminds me of is the Chikuhodo G16, which has this similar tapered and coming to a point design. However, I think the Sonia G1, the shape on it is more effective. So the Chikuhodo one comes to a much pointier point. I also enjoy the handle on the Sonia G brush better because, again, of the weight and the easiness of holding it in your hand versus when you have a smaller handle. If you hold it just by the handle, it's going to be very top heavy, and otherwise you're holding it by the ferrule, which is fine. It's just a matter of preference. I do prefer the longer handles, and I also find that the softness of the Sonia G1 is much softer. The Chikuhodo one I would not think is suitable for sensitive skin types. They may find it a bit scratchy. But let's just focus on the Sonia G1. So this brush was no doubt going to make my top 5 list because it is a brush that I use with many different products and it applies them all beautifully. My favorite two are bronzer and setting powder, and I reach for this brush continuously for those two purposes. And this brush is, in my opinion, the perfect balance of form and function. Form being that this brush is so unique and so beautiful, and function being that it works really well. So this is truly, I think, a piece of art, and I love the fact that it was inspired by the art of calligraphy. The last brush I have is the Master Face. Again, I have more details and a more thorough review of this brush in my Sky Set review. If that's something you're interested in, you can find info there. But to summarize, this is a round and incredibly soft multi-purpose brush. It is densely packed. The comparisons I have to it are two more Chikuhodo brushes. This is a Chikuhodo Special G11, which is not available anymore, but similar to it is this Chikuhodo GST Kabuki. Again, the Sonia G1 is softer, and because it's a little smaller than the Chikuhodo ones, I think that makes it a little more multi-purpose. I've included the Master Face in my list of top 5 because it is my go-to brush for blending and buffing all of my powder products seamlessly together as my last step. This brush alone has greatly improved how all of my face powder products look, and I just take it and in circular motions buff it around. It blends everything seamlessly for an airbrush finish, and I almost can't do my makeup without this brush. That's how much I use it. So to conclude everything, please keep in mind that these recommendations are not in any particular order. They're just my overall top picks for different makeup application steps and needs. So I hope that if you were looking to pick up one or two of Sonia brushes, that this video may be of some help, at least as a starting point. If you have any questions, please comment below. I will get back to you promptly. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.